in response to a question I had, which was I thought you started IIR, why haven't you finished it yet? And the answer is because I stopped. Now, you could say I gave up, but no, actually, it's a case of I stopped. I stopped because of a number of reasons, predominantly because I stopped enjoying it. Now, my flying is basically about me enjoying flying. I'm not learning to fly for a specific reason. I'm not planning to do CPL. I'm not planning to be a flight instructor. I'm not planning to go commercial. So I don't have the same drive as some other pilots out there. It's not to say that having that drive to go through the next stage and the next stage is a bad thing or a good thing. It's down to what you as an individual want. But I sort of found that after about lesson number 3, it was a little bit overwhelming because I also had to do a lot of ground school to try and get my head around some of the concepts. I was feeling more pressured to actually do the course. And it got to the stage where I was flying and I wasn't enjoying it. And that was the key for me. I'm a very, very strong believer. If you don't enjoy something, why are you doing it? If you're doing it because you have to, all well and good. But if you're doing it because it's supposed to be fun, yeah, there's certain aspects of learning to fly that is hard work and we have to do it in order to progress. But IIR is one of those things that there's two ways of looking at it. Some people see IIR, and for the Americans, IIR is instrument rating restricted. It's basically a UK-based instrument rating, but it's restricted. There's a few caveats as to what you can and can't do. And in the UK, it's seen, there's two schools of thought. One of which is it's a get out of jail 3 card. In other words, it's not something you should be using. I've got an IIR, there's a big cloud, the weather's pants, let's go flying. That's not really what it's there for. It's there as a get out of jail free card. In other words, you've done a flight, the weather's turned, and let's face it, everything is forecasts. You can always hit that point where it's just a little bit too much and you're now in a situation where you have to do an instrument approach or do some navigation based on instruments. So having that is a very good idea from a safety perspective. The other way to look at it is it's a rating. Is it a rating? Yeah, I think it's a rating. It's a rating that you have to keep doing. It's not something that you can do this year and then in 9 months' time it'd be like, yeah, no problem, I can do it. No, it's one of those ratings that the skills fade because of the nature of instrument flying is such that you need to keep doing it. So people suggested to me, you need to do 1 or 2 instrument approaches a month just to keep that mental state of being able to do it. And my answer to that is, that's quite hard. At the moment, it's quite hard to do 1 or 2 flights a month, let alone do 1 or 2 instrument flights a month. And it just hit the point where I almost felt as if I was wasting the instructor's time. I also had an instructor. I'm not going to name the instructor because he's a great guy, but he was very much one of these instructors who everything has to be, he's aiming for 15 hours because in the UK it's a 15-hour rating. He wants to push his students to get it through in 15 hours. And that's not the way I learned to fly. For me, a lot of the process is the whole process going through learning to fly. So trying to do my instrument rating in 15 hours, because my instructor wanted me to do it in 15 hours, there's almost a bit of feeling that I was a bit of a failure because I wasn't progressing possibly the way that he felt I was progressing. I don't know. I didn't really have that conversation with him. Maybe I should have done. I think it just hit the point where I'd done about 5 or 6 hours. I was beginning to get my head around certain concepts, and then a couple of other concepts just got thrown at me. I was like, what? The first time I came across an instrument plate, I was like, approach plate. I was like, oh, God. And then it was like, yeah, you've got to work out the wind. So when you're on this part of the thing, it's -2. Oh, God, my mind just exploded. So I just said, yeah, I'm going to stop now. It's not a case of I'm going to stop completely. It's a case of, I think I'm probably more likely to go sometime next year, and we're in end of 2023 at the moment. I will go somewhere and probably do an intensive where I can concentrate on it. I don't have other distractions. I also happen to run a business. I also happen to do a number of other things. So I have lots of distractions in my life. And to do something that is intense, as worthwhile as an instrument rating, even a restricted one, you need to be able to concentrate on it. You need to have that, I'm doing nothing else but I'm concentrating on this. And that wasn't working for me. So put my hands up and said, I'm going to stop now. I've got 5 or 6 hours, I think it's about 5 hours actually, in my logbook. So I've got some of the basic idea. I do need to do more. I also need to do a test, and I also need to do a written. But that's the reason I stopped doing my IIR. So if you're doing your IIR, brilliant, keep at it. Kudos to you, because boy, was it hard, especially when I saw that instrument plate for the first time. Sorry, approach plate. I was like, I can't, my mind is blown. But I did enjoy it. And actually, I found flying under instruments, flying under the hood, is quite relaxing, actually. You just get mesmerized. Maybe that's a bad thing, and sort of fly into the ground. But no, it's very structured. It's very much, you have your scan, you're looking at your instruments, that one, and correcting. And after a while, that became quite nice. I enjoyed that. But then you've got to deal with the radio. You've got to deal with everything else on the planet. And yeah, me and the radio, I still don't love the radio. There will be another video about me and the radio. And I have had comments, almost criticisms from people going, every time you fly with Jack, you let Jack do the radio. Well, the answer to that is because Jack wants to do the radio, because otherwise he's going to sit there being bored as poo. Because he doesn't fly. I do the flying. He just does the radio and points out the window. So he likes to have something to do. And I got no issue with that. But yeah, I need to sort of get my head around doing a little bit more radio flying. But anyway, that is why you haven't seen Wayne going, yay, I finished my IR, because the answer is I haven't. But anyway, if you like what I'm doing, please consider the old thumbs up. And it'd be great if you follow the channel. And have a happy Christmas, happy New Year. And that's a bit pointless saying that, because you're probably watching this video in 6 months' time when it's the middle of summer. But anyway, enjoy your flying and be safe. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hello, so I'm now back from my first lesson of instrument flying for my instrument rating restricted, and I confess I really enjoyed it. Actually, it was quite intense. I would say quite difficult. We did basic flying under the hood and covered some instrument related stuff, and yeah, it was I think I'm still processing it, but I really enjoyed it. Great instructor, new instructor for me, Chris, who's a great guy. A few dodgy jokes, but everyone has dodgy jokes. And yeah, no, enjoyed it. So that was lesson number 1, exercise 19. Next one planned is I have to revise ADFs, and let's see how it goes. But yeah, definitely enjoyed it, and let's see how it goes. Thanks for watching. Bye.